What's up, guys and girls? I received a couple of comments that were great questions regarding the 30-inch, regarding the X series, regarding the Toro HDX, which is the same thing. Pardon the noise, River's riding his tractor over there. We actually just bumped it up to the, I took the screwdriver and moved it so it can get into second gear. So that thing is fast now. But anyway, so I received 2 comments that were great comments, and I wanted to make a video basically addressing those comments. So I'll put those comments up right here. All right, so the first comment was asking about, he was saying that he had one of these. He had a 2014 Toro, and he was wondering, you know, is it worth it to upgrade to this one? He had a 2014 Toro commercial one. Now I had the 2014 Toro commercial with the Kawasaki engine on it. It was a great mower. It you know, he's saying it felt like the transmission was kind of weak, and I had a problem with the throttle cable one time where it snaps in down inside there was those little clips were wore out, and so the cable's moving a little bit, but I didn't know that. I thought the transmission was going out. So I took it all apart and ordered a new transmission on eBay and replaced the transmission, but it was just the cable, so I replaced the cable too. Oh yeah, y'all check out my dinosaur Christmas sweater and my necklace. Pretty sweet, right? It's posed for thumbnail here. But anyway, he was wondering if it was worth it to change from that one to this one, and what would be the downsides to it. And so I want to make this video. I don't want to drag it out, but I want to make it tell my thoughts about this after having it, you know, all the way since the summer. And if y'all watch my channel, I actually had a 2014 Toro Turf Master with the Kawasaki engine, just like the commenter has. I also have the residential Time Master right here, and so I really had the whole gamut. of it, you know what I mean? I had the Toro commercial, I had this new X series, and I have the residential one as well. And I use them daily. I've been running these for all my push mowing yards. I've been running the 30 inches exclusively basically since 2014. I think it was like 2015 actually. So I got 5 years of using these things, so I'm very familiar with them inside and out, front and back. I've put a lot of hours on them. So let's go ahead and address these commenters' questions. So here's the first question, just wondering if it was worth it. He's saying the transmission he felt like was weak on the other one, and he felt like the Kawasaki engine didn't have enough power. This engine does have more power than the Kawasaki. Not double as much power or anything like that. I would say probably 10-20% more power, which is a good thing. It's a great thing. But I personally, man, I'm sorry about this noise. River's just tractor. Y'all check out my stripes over here on my, if y'all seen that video where I put rye seed in my front lawn. These are with my walker, mowed it with my walker. I mowed with 30-inch Summit. But anyway, so, you know, it's probably 10-20% better, this engine. So that's a really good thing. So that is awesome. But here's one thing about this X series and the Toro HDX that is different, that I don't really like. It has a totally different transmission, bigger transmission. Probably the transmission will last forever compared to the other one. I mean, that's the idea. That's what they were hoping. You know, it has a parking brake. It has like some differences, but the transmission, this transmission, it's a completely different transmission. It does way better going up hills. You know, supposedly it's stronger, lasts longer, you know, all that mess. But one thing I will tell you that is actually a big downside with this, and you know that if you have an X Series, and this is something that nobody told me before I got it, because I asked a lot of guys that had this at the X Series, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to get it, you know, to upgrade from my my other 2014. And I basically bought this just because of tax reasons, you know, to be completely honest with you guys. Like my old the old 2014 model, the Toro Turfmaster, it was totally fine, and I liked it. I like that more. So the downside to this X Series, the biggest downside to this over previous models, and whether it be Toro Exmark, you know, it doesn't really make much difference. It's just the wheel adjustments are different, and you know, that's pretty much it, you know, because the newer Toros will have the same handle style. I had the 2014, so it had the one where you slide it over, pull it up, and so, but it's basically the same mower. So and the bumper is different too, but you know, so the downside to this mower is that transmission's different, and so, you know, it goes up hills better and it's supposed to last longer and all that. But when you're driving it, it feels like both the wheels are locked in, almost like you got a locked differential. And so here's why that's bad. When you go to turn around, if you go to turn around and you're still holding, you know, you still holding some forward, you know, you still got the self-propel engaged, it is hard to turn around, you know what I mean? Because it's still wanting to go, and it doesn't really want you to turn it around. So basically, you need to completely let off of this and then turn it around and then go again. And that is kind of, I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker, but you know, one thing that I thought on my old Toro, my 2014 commercial, it was better. It was better because you could just, it was just way easier to turn it around. So you, my man, that are thinking about upgrading to the HDX or the X Series or whatever, that is one thing. That's really the only thing, the only downside to this new model. The engine is better and all that. It may be a couple pounds more, but I don't think that really makes much difference because I own the old one. You know, I don't think, like, the weight doesn't really feel difference, but just know that it's gonna, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to change your strategy when you're turning around, because the thing, just the way this transmission is, like if you're on the gas even just a little bit, let's say you're not squeezing it all the way, but you're just squeezing it a little bit, those two wheels feel like they want to stay locked all the time, which is good because it, you know, it'll go right up the hills, you know, go all that. River, you want to be on the video? What are you saying?
I'm gonna drive on the concrete.
Okay, good job. River always wants to be in my videos for whatever reason, so I guess basically it's all he knows over the last few years. He's just grown up being in my videos, being out here with me. So, but anyway, so that's the thing that you have to know, is that the transmission, I don't like how that is, because it's just hard to turn around. Now, moving on to the second comment, which basically is almost like the same thing that I'm really going to talk about as the thing you got to look out for on the X Series. And that's something nobody told me. Nobody told me that it would act like that. If I would have known that, I don't know that I would have bought this X Series model, because it's just harder to turn around. That's just, I mean, just all there is to it. So the turns are harder with the X Series than they were on the old commercial. The old commercial was, you know, I know that transmission may wear out faster and whatever, but it did a little more user-friendly, in my opinion, as far as the turning around. And so this will move right on to the second comment. And they were saying, hey, I got the new Toro HDX, which is the same thing as the new X Series, so it's going to have that big transmission. And I believe it's a lady, you know, just the way the name looks. I don't know 100% about that, but she's like, this thing is beating me to death when I'm mowing a yard with it. And so that is probably the same reason why it's beating you up. And I had to change my mowing habits once I got this new X model compared to the older commercial one, because those turns, that thing was beating you up. So for the second comment, and why is this thing beating you up? I think if you, let's say you had a 21-inch mower before this, let's say you had a 21-inch mower. So you can't treat these 30-inch mowers like a 21-inch mower. Don't try to, you know, manhandle and force them around as much, or they will beat you up more. You almost have to treat this like, act like this is a walk-behind mower. Let's say you had a commercial walk-behind mower, whether it's hydro, belt drive, or whatever. You're not going to try to physically grab and turn this thing around. You're not going to try to manhandle it as much, because you know you can't on a machine that's, you know, 600 pounds or whatever a commercial walk-behind mower would be. You almost kind of got to act like that with this. Now obviously you have to physically turn it around, but you got to make sure you let off of this, you know, and do your turns pivoting like that, you know. But while you're mowing down the straight line, just let it do its thing and you just walk behind it. Don't try to move it a little back and forth if you can help it, you know. Try to let this do as much of the work by itself as it can, just like you would with a walk-behind mower. A walk-behind mower, you would not try to, like, you know, really try to wrestle this thing, because you know that you could not. You would know that you can't. You would know that you couldn't, you would know that you couldn't wrestle this thing if it were a big walk-behind mower. So that you need to treat this mower exactly like that, except for you still have to wrestle it when you turn around, make the turns. But if you implement that thought strategy, this will wear you out way less probably than what it is wearing you out now. And so think about that. Think about that strategy. Try to treat this as if it was a big walk-behind mower, and just, you know, just really wrestle it when you're making your turns. And then, but when you're going straight, just try to let it do as much of the work by itself as it can. That's what it's designed to do. And I think it will beat you up a lot less. And there may be just a little bit of a muscle learning curve if you're going from like a super light Honda 21 to this. But I will tell you this. And also she was wondering, hey, did I slip up? Did I make a mistake on buying this 30-inch mower? My opinion is, after I got my first 30-inch mower, which is in 2014 or 2015, after I got my first one, I've now had 3 of them, I'll never buy another 21-inch mower. Because, excuse me, whew, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry. So, once you get used to using these, they can do everything that a 21-inch mower can do. They cut just as good. I actually love the cut quality even better on these 30-inch mowers than I do on my 21s. I can't explain that. Maybe it's just the way the 2 blades are or whatever, but I love these mowers. And they save so much. You think about it. So every stripe that you do, you got 50% wider cut. So what does that mean? So like every 2-3 passes, you're like gaining another pass free, basically. Like you're making up that much difference. So it's awesome, because you're saving so much walking that I think it is totally worth it to use these mowers and just, you know, deal with getting used to not being able to manhandle them as much. You know, just like everything in life, there are pros and cons to it, but I think the 30-inch mowers are way better. I was literally clocking my yards, and I can, you know, like some of these bigger ones that they want push mode. I say bigger ones, let's say it's like a half acre or whatever. You know what I mean? So let's say, yeah, these ones that they want push mode. I'm gaining like 15-20 minutes off of my cut time by using this versus using my 21. I've had like 5 different 21-inch mowers as well, you know, done this for my whole life. And, you know, these were kind of new on the scene 5 years ago or whatever, and I still love them. I still think it's great. So, do you think, the second comment, do you think that, or do I think that you messed up and bought that mower? No. I think it's an awesome mower. I think you just got to kind of get used to using it, try not to manhandle it as much, and you'll get used to running it, and you'll like it over time. But just be patient with it, give it a little time. It is heavier. You got to just, you know, you have to get used to using it, but once you get used to it, you know, I think these are way better because, like I said, every 2-3 passes, I'm saving a whole walking pass. So, like you're just all day, you're just saving walking. Every time you use this, you're saving that walking versus a 21. Now, it does take up a little bit more room on the trailer. It's heavier. They're more expensive compared to than the 21s. But for me, they've been very durable. I've had limited issues with them. I've been running for 5 years. I run them pretty much every day. You know, especially during the growing season and stuff, you know what I mean? These are running a lot. Yeah, so for the first comment, he was saying, should you upgrade? I don't know. You might should upgrade, but just be aware that this transmission is harder to use. If someone were to pay me $2,000 for this mower right now, I would sell it, you know what I mean? I would sell it and get like a new one of the old commercial one, just like the one you have, just because the transmission is harder to deal with on this. But with that being said, I'm not going to even try to sell this mower. I'm not. Now that I have it, I'm just going to get used to using it, even though it feels locked in the transmission. Like, I'll probably have this mower for the next 10 years, you know what I mean? I don't know, but I don't plan on maybe ever buying another push mower. I'm going to keep the oil changed on this thing. And man, I can probably make this thing last, you know, since it's me solo, I can probably make this mower last for a good portion of the rest of my life, you know what I mean? And then I also have the residential one as well, which is good. The residential one's a good mower. I mean, I think it's a great mower for $1,000. You know, and I get questions a lot on these 30-inch, you know, like, do I think this mower, so this mower cost me $2,300. This mower cost me $2,300. That one cost $1,000. Do I think this one's more than double as good? No, I don't. It costs double as much or more than double as much, and I think it's probably 30% better. It is better, holds more gas, better engine lasts longer, better tires on it, better transmission. It's heavier duty, but it's not double as good as that. If you know, once a year, if you want to replace a few parts on that one, you can just buy that one for $1,000. But that one, you can definitely tell it's residential, like, because I used that residential one for a couple years now too, and it just, I mean, things break on it a little more often. It just has like a cheaper feel about it. Doesn't run as smooth, you know, I mean, it's a residential machine, but this one's awesome.
Yeah.
You gonna rake that pine straw?
Yeah, I need to rake that pine straw and throw that on the front.
Well, we might do that in a little bit. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap up this video. I apologize for any tractor noise, and I hope that I got my points across. Really, the downside with the X Series the downside with the X Series is just that transmission, just the way it feels. It feels locked all the time, and that's kind of a bummer. That's really the only downside to it compared to the previous models. And so, you that's thinking about buying the X Series or the HDX, Turfmaster HDX, so just think about that transmission. That's the only thing. And then, the other comment, I'm wondering, because I believe she bought the HDX, so it's the Toro version, but it's going to have this trans and stuff same. And I think you bought a great mower. Just be patient with it, give it a learning curve, and try not to wrestle it as much. Try to just let it do more of the work, and then completely let off when you're turning around. And I think you're going to be happier with it. We got to wrap this video up. I know it's been long, but I just hope I get this point across, you know, correctly, and apologize about River's tractor noise. As soon as I'm about done making a video, you stop riding the tractor. But anyway, hope y'all are doing awesome. See ya.